Today we're going over how to get your house market ready in today's market, and it's really important now, especially more than it has been in probably the past 5 years, because houses are starting to sit on the market a little bit longer. So doing the right prep work and marketing them correctly is really important, especially in today's market. Now today we're going over 5 different things that you need to do before you list your house to get it market ready, and number 5 is probably the most important on this list, so make sure you stick around for that. If you're new here, my name is Lowe. I'm with United Real Estate Louisville. I've been selling real estate since 2019. Make sure you click that subscribe button as well as the bell notification. I post videos about market updates once a month, as well as buyer and seller tips just like this. So make sure you click the bell notification and that subscribe button so you don't miss any other content that I put out throughout the month. Now down in the description, I have my 7 must-do list of things that you should do before you list your house. We're going to talk about some of them today, but if you want the full list, the link is down in the description. Now jumping right into the video, number 1 thing that you need to do when you go to prep your house is focus on the curb appeal. And let's be honest, the curb appeal is the first impressions for any buyer that comes in the door. Whether they see the house on Zillow, Realtor.com, or they're driving by and they see that for sale sign, they're going to notice the outside before they notice any of the inside. So it's really important that people aren't scrolling past it on Zillow or Realtor.com and they're not actually driving past the sign and going, yeah, I'm not really interested in that, because people are going to judge the outside of the house before they judge the inside of the house. And let's be honest, if the outside of the house looks like it's overgrown, landscaping hasn't been taken care of, the weeds are all grown up around it, all the shrubs haven't been cut in 5 years, chances are buyers are going to look at it and say, yeah, the inside of the house is probably going to be a fixer-upper because the outside of the house is a fixer-upper. So fixing the landscaping, making it look like it's well maintained, pressure washing, if you've got siding on your house or maybe a front porch or deck, power washing that, restaining that, adding in flowers like just a couple pops of color, and then also staging the front yard. A lot of people don't think about staging the front yard, but showing off the usable space, and also if you've got a big front porch, maybe put some rocking chairs out there and show that hey, you can actually use the front porch for what it's intended to be used for. So different things like that make a huge impact on the way that a buyer sees the property and whether or not they're actually going to click on it on Zillow, Realtor.com, or if they're going to inquire on that sign that's in the yard. Now, the second thing is we want to make sure we declutter and depersonalize the property. Now, first off, declutter, we want to make sure that we remove all the stuff from it. So go through the house, take out about 30% of the property. We want to go ahead and just take out personal property as well as furniture and go ahead and move it into storage. Because let's be honest, the buyer's there to see your house. They're not there to see all your stuff. So pulling all that stuff out makes a big difference. The other thing is we want to make sure that when we go through the house, we go ahead and take cell phone photos. I'm not going to post these anywhere, but what we want to see is what actually sticks out in the photos. Is it the countertops or is it the stuff that's on the countertops? Because when you're in person, it doesn't look like there's a ton of stuff on your countertops. When we take a picture of it, a lot of times it shows what's actually kind of pop out at people when they're looking through photos. And before we invest in professional photos, we want to make sure we do cell phone photos, see how the house is going to show up in photos. And then the other thing is we want to depersonalize the house. And what I'm talking about here is family photos that we might not want on Zillow, Realtor.com, or on any social media platforms. We might go ahead and pull those down. And the other thing is unique features about the house. That hot pink bedroom with neon green shag carpet was awesome, but let's be honest, most buyers are probably not going to love it. So let's go ahead and make it more neutral. Maybe, put in new carpet, paint it real quick, and most buyers are going to walk in and they're not going to see a project to be had. They're going to see that they can move in, and then later if they want something more unique, then they can make that change in the future, but it's not something that they feel is going to need to be done tomorrow when they move in. Now the third thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we repair and fix anything that's broken, and the other thing is we want to make sure that we go through the house and upgrade small little things. We're not talking about flipping the whole house, redoing the entire kitchen, or anything crazy like that, but what I am talking about is what we're going to do is fix different things like loose door handles, replace burnt out light bulbs, squeaky doors, as well as leaky faucets are all really important things that buyers are going to immediately come in and they're going to pick apart, and whatever the cost of that repair is, $20 from go to Home Depot, takes an hour. Buyers immediately going to say that's going to take 2 weeks to fix, it's going to cost thousands of dollars, and a lot of times they tend to build these repairs up, so fixing them before we list is really important. The other thing is those little upgrades, so things like maybe we go through and replace all the hardware in the kitchen cabinets, just the little door pulls. That can have a huge impact, especially if what's in there now is really dated and almost dingy and gross. It might be worth it to go ahead and replace those. So different things like that when it comes to small upgrades. Maybe, like we've already talked about, neutralizing different paint colors. If you've got really unique paint colors, maybe doing a more neutral color that's more appealing to more buyers might be beneficial. It just really depends, especially if you haven't painted in 15 years, maybe it's time to go ahead and update the paint a little bit just so that way it appeals to more buyers and feels more modern. Now, the fourth thing that we want to make sure we do is we want to make sure we stage it and also optimize the flow of the house. And we talked about the flow of the house a little bit already, but it's really important because buyers, when they walk in and they feel like there's, getting cut off different ways because of the way the furniture is, can make a big difference on the way they feel about the house because they're going to feel like it's way more closed off and less opened. The other thing is when it comes to staging, we want to make sure that the house feels like home because let's be honest, nobody buys a house except for investors. Home buyers, they buy homes. So we want it to feel like home, and that goes down to the scent. We want it to smell like home. We want it to smell like fresh baked cookies or vanilla or some, warm, welcoming scent. And the other thing is we want to make sure that we make it feel like home. So that's through decoration, adding a pop of color here and there, decorative towels, blankets on the couch, different things like that can have a huge impact on the way a buyer feels about the property because let's be honest, they're buying a home, they're not buying a house. And number 5 is the final touches of the house, and that's going to be lighting, the smell, as well as photos and videos. So first off, lighting, let's be really honest, a house feels way more welcoming, way more home-like, and way more open and big when it's well lit. So open up all the windows, put a lamp in the dark corner, and add some mirrors to bounce the light around a little bit. It can have a huge impact on the way a buyer walks in and feels about the property, as well as, let's be honest, it shows better in photos and videos when the house is well lit. So open up all the windows, turn on all the lights, maybe add a lamp in the dark corners, and maybe a couple mirrors here and there to really bounce around the light. Makes a big difference. The other thing is the smell, and I know we just talked about it, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's important. Make the house smell like home and not like a bunch of dogs or cats or anything else. We want it to smell like home and warm and welcoming and just comfy. The other thing is the photos and the videos. Now, a right photographer can do amazing things for your house, especially when it shows up online, because let's be honest, buyers are shopping online before they see the house in person. So if we don't put our best foot forward with photos and videos and promoting the house to thousands of people on social media, that has a huge impact on the way a buyer feels about the property because let's be honest, they're looking through those photos, they're going into detail, they're already getting excited before they even see the house, and it's really good if they love the house online and they come and see it because they're already fallen in love with it and have high expectations and they show up, they're probably going to fall more in love with it when they walk through the house. So the right photos and videos make all the difference in the world, and if you want help with that, give me a call or shoot me a text. I'd love to get you in touch with my photographers. That way we can get professional photos and videos of the house and really show it off to the maximum potential of the house and show it off in the best light possible. Now, if you made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate you sticking around. Now, down below, I do have my 7 things that you must do before you list a house in today's market, so make sure you go grab that. If you were new here, make sure you click that subscribe button as well as the bell notifications so you don't miss any other market updates, buyer and seller tips that I post throughout the month. And if you did get something out of the video, give me a like because it really helps my channel out. The other thing is if you are looking to sell or buy in today's market here in Louisville, give me a call. I'd love to sit down with you and talk, discuss the entire selling process with you, and kind of make a game plan for what we need to do with the house before we list it and how to give the most amount of attention on the house once we list it. I've got my phone number down in the description. I'd love to talk to you. Once again, my name is Spencer Lowe. I'm with United Real Estate Louisville, and I'll see you in the next one.